LEQ.
At the end of every unit, the teacher has the chance to teach a lesson about other lessons to enhance. But what do you suppose our teacher has us do? He skips the lesson and makes us present an LEQ. Elocution needs historical evidence, reasoning that can help and support the friggin' evidence. Thesis that Dr. John Irish would admire.
What else?
Then we drop this screencast like a single that is fire.
Student created screencast for you to like and share.
Subscribe.
We know you've had all the green and Heimler you can bear. If we have the most views by 10 o'clock on the 5th day PM, 500 bonus points, which means we get an A. Without much more further ado, present our digital LEQ.
Welcome to our digital LEQ. We did our topic on the continuities and changes of the Silk Road and the Indian Ocean. It's made by me and Makai. Big ideas. Our first question was, what stayed the same regarding trade in the Indian Ocean and the Silk Road during this time period? And our second question was, what changed regarding trade in the Indian Ocean and Silk Road between 1200 and 1450? Thesis. Between the time period 1200 and 1450, trade in the Indian Ocean went through various changes such as the increase in the volume of trade and the development of new technologies. However, there were also continuities like what goods were sold and how sailors traversed the ocean. On the other hand, the Silk Road peaked during this time period because of the large variety of items you can get from it. There were plenty of continuities during this time period. However, there were more changes that directly impacted trade. Indian Ocean. Contextualization. The Indian Ocean was a network of trade routes that enabled people from all around the world to exchange goods. Trade during this time period using the Indian Ocean was heavily relied on. Sailors would always ride the monsoon all the way to China. This is because this was the most efficient way they knew on traversing this ocean. Products that had a high demand during this time period included timber, sugar, cotton, silk, and spices. A reason why the Indian Ocean was so popular was because these products were easier to trade over the ocean in bulk rather than on land. Prices for these goods were also much lower than the prices on land. The combination of the low prices and the straightforward method of trading made this trading network irresistible. Continuities. Some continuities included way of travel, what goods were traded, spread of religion, and port cities. Changes. Some changes included that trade increased dramatically, that Africa entered trade, that the Portuguese and the Dutch began participating in trading, and new technology such as large ships and compasses, which made trading way easier. Primary source number 1. This right here is a Chinese junk ship. That's what they call it. But it was basically manufactured to carry more goods when trading across the Indian Ocean. Some themes this could apply to is Theme 4, Economic Systems, and Theme 6, Technology and Innovation. Situation. Like I said, it's a Chinese junk ship, and merchants would often use them because it can hold more items. Point of view. This is significant because it gives an insight on how big the new ships made by the Chinese were during this time frame. Primary source number 2. This right here is a Frey Morrow map. Sorry if I butchered that, but this map served as the most accurate description of the world at this time. Once again, this is another crucial change during this time period as it helped make trade way easier. Some themes this can apply to is Theme 6, Technology and Innovation. Situation. Like I said, it was made around the 1400s, and this map was the most accurate description of the world at the time. In point of view, it was significant because it shows the advancement of cartography during this time frame, and it also made trade easier.
Now we have the Silk Road. Contextualization. The Silk Road was a giant network of trades that connect from the Far East to China, all the way to the Middle East, and all the way to Europe. The Silk Road was established during the Han Dynasty. The majority of Asia was affected to the Silk Road, but China really benefited the most from it. Items that were headed to China was like gold, silver, ivory, gem, and glass. And then items like bronze, silk, fur, and jade and spices was headed to the opposite direction. Then the reason the Silk Road earned its name because silk was one of the first and one of the most important products being carried on the route. The Silk Road was so important because it helped generate trade between many kingdoms and empires. This helped the spread of religion, culture, and adventures all the way across Europe, Asia, and parts of Africa. Merchants used caravans to travel and usually had guards with them to protect the product from bandits. Camels were a big factor in the Silk Road because camels could go through hot weather and harsh land. The Silk Road ended in 1453 AD, and the main reason because that was the Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean trade was faster, cheaper, and could carry more goods on the trip. Continuities. Despite there was many changes on the Silk Road, these certain things stayed the same. Luxury goods, social class, and materials. With luxury goods, upper class citizens separated themselves from others based on the items that they had. Social class, high class people obtained more luxury goods compared to low class, where they had to work more to receive them. People in the low class made much less compared to people in the higher class. Materials. Silk and gold was still the most exotic items that came along the trade routes. Changes. Even though a lot of things stayed the same during this time period, a lot of things also did change, like religion, merchants, and diseases. Religion became so materialistic that Christians, as an example, started to use silk clothing for wall hangings, and Buddhism also took effect. The religion became more focused on wealth opposed to rulers in the past that were Buddhists and they was more self-efficient. With merchants, men and women that were merchants, they moved up to social class because they needed for labor. And with diseases, many diseases were spread through the Silk Road, even though products were the main factor. And diseases that were spread through the Silk Road was something like the Black Plague. Primary source number 3. In this quote by George Dawkes, he says, Allah is my beloved brother. What shall I say? How shall I begin? Whether shall I turn? On all sides is sorrow. Everywhere is fear. I would, my brother, that I have never been born, at least had died before these times. When has any such thing been ever heard or seen? In what annals has it ever have been read that houses were left vacant, cities desert, and the countries neglected? The fields was too small for the dead and the fearful universe, solitude over the whole earth. The reason of this quote was because George Dawkes was written in 1347 as the Black Plague was happening. Most of the diseases spread by the use of the Silk Road was because diseases came along the Silk Road, and even though products were a main factor. If you even exchanged goods on the Silk Road, you was bound to get the disease and eventually die because there was no cure. The situation of the primary source is that the note was written for George Dawkes to his brother during the Black Plague in 1347. It was really meant for his brother, but got spread it to the public. This quote was written in first person and gives readers a first-hand experience of all the changes and emotions that George Dawkes and other people in Europe and what they was going through during this tragic time. Primary source number 4. This picture to the left is a statue that was made for people that believed in Buddhism. The Silk Road was not only a place for trade, but it's also people that can spread their beliefs and religion. This caused a change in the main religion because of the Silk Road. The new favorite religion was Buddhism and Islam. The situation here shows a Buddhist statue created along the Silk Road. Merchants and travelers will come along the Silk Road and build statues to represent their belief and their religions. The point of view of this was that the picture was taken for people to view in third person. It shows a piece of art made by Buddhists that was put on the Silk Road. This shows how many religious beliefs that were spread along the Silk Road. And that is it with our LEQ. I hope you enjoy. Thank you and goodbye.